Hi, good evening. This is Dr. Sangeeta Agrawal, gynecologist practicing in Prabhadevi, Mumbai. I hope all of you are fine. Thank you for the wonderful response which you have shared with me on my uh, mailbox and the WhatsApp number for the videos. And I'm happy that in this lockdown period that whatever little effort we have put in is being appreciated. And I do hope I can do more videos which you would be happy to um, listen to. So, uh, whilst we are in lockdown and whilst we are all at home, all of us are missing our exercise and we are terribly worried about putting on weight. Well, this worry is double and treble for women who are pregnant. Now, women who plan their pregnancy and those who are already pregnant and are already overweight, they have even more trouble on hand. So, how do we first let us understand how do you calculate that you're overweight? For this, we use a measure which is called as body mass index. The short form, which is routinely accepted, is BMI. BMI for body mass index. Now, it is a measure of your weight in kilos divided by your height in meters square. So, if you are 5 feet and you will are 50 kilos, so it will be 50 kilos divided by by your height in meters into square. Okay, so after that you get the figure. The BMI between 18.5 to 25 is considered healthy. 25 to 30 is considered as overweight, and 30 to 35 is considered as obese, and more than 35 is morbidly obese. So, most women who are in the overweight and obese category may still have a straightforward pregnancy and may have a healthy baby at the end of the pregnancy. So, nevertheless, being overweight does increase certain risk for the mother and increases certain risk for the fetus. So, what are the risks for the mothers? For all the pregnant women who have a higher BMI, above 25 and above 30 especially, there is a higher chance that you will develop blood pressure in pregnancy. The blood pressure which develops characteristically in pregnancy after 20 weeks is labeled as pregnancy-induced hypertension. If you have blood pressure which is already existing before you got pregnant or in the first 20 weeks, then that is uh, not PIH, and that is chronic blood pressure which is likely to only get worse in pregnancy. What can we do about it? Well, at every pregnant antenatal visit, at the first visit itself, the doctor will record your blood pressure and they will also do a urine check to make sure that there is no protein in the urine. We various method you if you were already taking blood pressure medicines, then they would be changed to brands which are suitable in pregnancy, and we can give you low dose aspirin which will help in preventing certain side effects and complications of the pregnancy induced blood pressure. And another problem that can happen during pregnancy in women who are overweight or obese simply because of the weight is a higher chance of developing diabetes during pregnancy. When diabetes happens during pregnancy, then it is called as gestational diabetes. Here again, the doctors will normally check for your sugar levels at the first visit, and then subsequent, if everything is normal at that time, then subsequently at 28 weeks to make sure that the sugars are normal. And if for any chance the sugars are high, then you would need to uh, take some dietary measures, and also maybe see a diabetologist to consider whatever medication is required to keep the sugars under control. Women who are overweight or obese also have a higher chance of thrombosis in the legs, which means that there is a clot formation in the legs, where the blood which flows through the veins can clot and thicken, and this can be a quite quite a quite a problem. So when it does happen, or when the risk is very high, there are the doctors likely to give you low grade low dose aspirin, and sometimes even low molecular weight heparin, which is going to be an anticoagulating agent to prevent the clots from forming. The woman being overweight or obese can also impact the fetus. There is a higher chance of miscarriage happening because of obesity. There is also a chance that the fetus will become very big, will put on a lot of weight, and sometimes this situation is called as macrosomia. And when you have a very big baby, then that of course can lead to difficult deliveries. Because the baby is big, there is a chance that the baby is not able to go through the whole labor, so there is a higher chance of a cesarean section. Sometimes the baby is able to come right out, the head is able to deliver, but the shoulder gets stuck at the introitus, and that can cause shoulder dystocia, and in the whole process there is a chance that you can damage the brachial plexus nerves of the fetus. Because the baby is sometimes big, there is a chance that the doctor would have to do a one-twos or a vacuum, which is sometimes called as vacuum, or a forceps delivery. And of course, though they are safe, there always is a risk of vaginal tears, increased amount of bleeding, extension of the episiotomy, and so forth. So the bigger the baby, more difficult is the labor, and there are chances of complications. Now, what can you do? Well, if you um, are already overweight or obese, then if you have if you are obese or overweight, then it is important that from the even before you get pregnant, you start watching your weight and adopting a healthy eating habits, so that you do not put on too much you don't put on too much weight. When you're pregnant, it is not advisable to have a diet where you will lose weight, but you surely can eat healthy enough so that you do not put on weight, and that can be managed. So you need to eat healthy. You should not uh, be eating double surely, because nobody needs to do that. It is a common misbelief that because you're pregnant you need to eat for two. That is wrong. Nobody, even the healthy women, do not need to eat for two. You need to drink plenty of water, keep yourself well hydrated. And when I'm talking of eating healthy, you need to increase the fiber content of your diet. You need to take 5 portions a day of fruits and vegetables. Now, when we say 5 portions, what we mean is you get 80 grams of fresh fruit or 30 grams of dried fruit, such as dates and figs. When you are suppose you are contemplating taking fruit juice or vegetable juice, then it should not be more than 150 ml and one helping a day, though eating cut fruit is far more better than having fruit juice. Your meal should include at least 80 grams of beans and pulses in a day. When I'm talking of you consuming fruits and vegetables, then veggies such as potatoes are not considered as vegetables, but they are considered as starchy food, and they are in place of your breads, etc., and pastas. So, Try to have 5 portions of veggies and fruits a day, and you should eat some dry fruits as well. Coming to exercise, if you have already been exercising, then you can discuss with your trainer and continue those exercises in pregnancy, except, of course, avoid things like skipping, etc., where there is a risk of fall in pregnancy. If you have never been exercising, then the simple things like walking, cycling, and swimming can be done in pregnancy. And swimming is particularly useful in the third trimester when it makes you feel weightless and helps you to tone up your muscles. No, otherwise, it is absolutely safe to start walking. You can start with half an hour every day or every alternate day, and then gradually increase the duration and the frequency. So there are a lot of antenatal classes and Lamaze classes which can help you with various exercises which help you to improve your the tone of your tummy muscles and to loosen up your pelvic muscles, and for that you would need to approach a physical trainer. Coming to, of course, smoking is an absolute no-no in pregnancy, irrespective whether you are healthy, obese, overweight, or whatever. And alcohol, very limited amounts of alcohol are okay to consume. Even tea and coffee in very limited amounts is okay during pregnancy. You do not need to stop totally, but at the same time, there is a fixed amount of dose that you can take, and you could check that out, the total amount, on our website. So there is a question that somebody is 14 weeks and is having hip pain in the left side. Well, if you have hip pain only on one side, you can probably do hot fermentation and take a paracetamol. And if it does not resolve, then you could see a doctor to understand where it is and why it's happening, because it's very difficult to give you advice just without examination. It could be just a muscle pull which will settle with little hot fermentation. All those fish that are high in mercury content should not be eaten in pregnancy. So there is a list of those which are okay to be consumed in pregnancy, and there is a list which you should not consume, and that is there on our website www.gynecdoctor.com. So I have realized that there are a lot of questions coming to us on the WhatsApp group and directly from after this live session. You feel free to continue to post your questions to us. Also, you can post. I do understand that you may not be comfortable in posting here in public, which is perfectly okay. And continue to give us your choice of topics. So we shall try and cover those topics in the next few days. I would also like to announce today that we will now be coming back to you on Saturday. Tomorrow is Friday, and we may not be able to do a session tomorrow, but we will do one on Friday. There was a question that on my personal chat, that how often should you check your blood pressure? Well, the doctor will check your blood pressure in the clinic at every antenatal visit. In case your blood pressure is high, then the doctor will give you a schedule wherein you could check your blood pressure at home and get back to the doctor, because there are times that when a patient may have a slightly higher blood pressure when they actually go to the clinic and are being examined by the doctor, but it sometimes settles when you are in the comfort of your own home. So the doctor would tell you. Otherwise, In a normal, healthy pregnancy, you don't need to check your blood pressure every day at home. The doctor will do it for you in the clinic. There are no more questions now. So, with this, I would like to say goodbye and thank you. And we will see you again day after. Till then, feel free to send us your questions and feel free to make suggestions for topics. It is nice to interact with all of you. Thank you and take care. Stay at home, stay blessed. Thank you.